This is Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. I'm your host, Tony Simeone, and I might be an only child, but I can't wait for Brothers. Thursday night, Eddy Street, we need you there. It is going to be the first live show in the history of Wake Up the Echoes. We'll have Coach Ivey there, Coach Shrewsbury, Marcus Burton, and Hannah Hidalgo. All will be in the house. It's going to be an awesome time to have a live Wake Up the Echoes show on display, and we need you there to be part of our live audience. It's going to run from 6:30 to 8:30 at Brothers. Our show will take place from about 7 to 8 p.m., but would just love you to come by if you're in the area. The show will hit your podcast feed a couple days later, so if you want to get all those conversations in real time, the only way to do it is to be at Brothers on Thursday. We hope to see you there. On this week's edition of Wake Up the Echoes, had a great conversation about women's basketball. Niele Ivey was back on the couch, and we talked to her about how her team is playing so well here to start the year. And then we got a chance to catch up with Kayla McBride as well. Had a great year in the WNBA, made it to the WNBA Finals, amazing series that we all saw. She was so close to winning a championship, and she really talked about how hungry she is to finally get that W championship, hopefully soon. On the couch, we also had Cass Prosper, and Maddy Westbeld came by, who's going to be our co-host throughout the year. She was awesome. Had some great conversations with the two of them. So it's a jam-packed women's basketball show this week. And one more reminder, we want to see you on Thursday night, November 14th at Brothers for our live Wake Up the Echoes show. All right, without further ado, let's get to Coach Ivey and Cass Prosper. Okay, Coach Ivey, welcome back to your show. It's great to have you back on Wake Up the Echoes. You brought a very special guest. I was going to go with Cass Prosper, but is there a different nickname I'm supposed to know? Is it Cassandre? Is that what I was hearing?
That's good. Yeah, Cassandre. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well because I see you guys scoring over 100 points every game, which is fun to watch.
Yep.
You guys were just talking about, you got home pretty late, though, on the bus last night. What's it like getting back that late on a Sunday before you got to start class on a Monday?
It's just the life of a student athlete. You know, all of us were just doing papers, getting our homework done in the bus right before midnight so that we can have it done, and then we have to go to class the next day. That's just how we roll, but we're used to it. Yeah.
So you don't get like car sick or bus sick trying to look at the screen and type the paper?
No, some people do have that, and I've never, ever experienced that. And I think the blue light kept me awake. So I was happy for that.
Okay.
Yes.
So the paper actually kept you up and motivated the rest of the bus ride.
Yeah.
And you're watching film on the bus, Coach? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yeah, so while they're doing work, I'm watching the game.
Yeah.
You ever just walk back and try to show them a few clips while they're interrupting the paper? No. That's cool.
We're not even allowed to, so they get a chance to
She's very good at,
I give them their space.
You get your space there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I can't even imagine trying to get the papers done Sunday night, midnight, but that's why you guys are built a little bit different. I should have introduced you, actually. I didn't introduce you properly. Olympian, Cass Prosper. Congratulations on that. I need to know everything. What was it like being part of the Olympic Games?
I guess the biggest thing I think I tell everyone is like when you get there, you just are surrounded by greatness. Mm-hmm. You know, our first part was in Lille, so we had all the basketball side of things. So you walk in, you see Giannis just walking there around the village, and it's like, oh my goodness, like you're at the Olympics for real, like you see just all these different countries, and it's such an experience. Our first game was against France, so it was against the home team. Okay. So just being there, that's being an Olympian has been one of my dreams, and then getting there and feeling the atmosphere because you're playing against the home team. So it was just incredible when you hear the national anthem. That's amazing. And then when you get to Paris, it's like you're in the Olympic Village with all the best in the world, like greatness fully around everywhere. So that is like a feeling, not really like you see it, but it's a feeling more. Yeah.
What was it like for you, Coach? Because I know we've seen Notre Dame athletes in all sports go to the Olympics, and it's really cool to see that, of course. But it has to be pretty neat to see one of your current athletes do it in the off season. What was going through your head as you saw her make that trip?
Yeah, I actually went over to see her because I was like, this is like it's not going to be once in a lifetime because she's going to LA too. But for me, it was my first time ever, like you mentioned, having a current player experience that and to be an Olympian. So I wanted to be there in person. So I flew to Lille and got a chance to be with her parents, and her brother, Max, was there. Yes. And just experience that with them, and just watching her and just being in that environment. Like you mentioned, it was France first, and it was like, it was so loud, and the environment atmosphere was just insane. And you watch it on television, but to see it in person was special. And I'm so proud of her. She knows that. But just to see what she overcame, she is a resilient person. went through a lot of adversity last year, and for her to come in and do what she needed to do. She was the hardest worker this past season, and to prepare herself for that experience and opportunity speaks on the character of Cass. But it was amazing. It was amazing to see her, play for her country and the pride that she has. It was spectacular.
Okay, you mentioned Giannis. Was that the biggest starstruck moment? Was there a different Olympian? Was it the Eiffel Tower? Like what was, when you're going through Paris or the whole Orlille or the whole place, like what comes to mind? Like, I cannot believe I just did that.
Yeah. Definitely Giannis, because that was when we first got there. But I would say, Sha'Carri was there. I think I saw Asia walking around and I'm like, wow, like that was in the basketball stadium. But I was like, wow, like literally these are the best in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm part of that, which is an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and it's amazing too to also, when you hear the best in the world, like maybe like LeBron James talks about like Simone Biles, or the people that at least I associate as American best athletes, they rave about the swimmers or the gymnasts. Just you see truly the best athletes that are on planet Earth, and when you hear greatness, in awe of greatness, it's unbelievable. And so it sounds like that was the case.
Yeah.
Canada, like basketball in Canada to me is booming. On the men's and women's side. Just you're growing up, how old are you now? You're 19? Okay, so you've kind of, I feel like since you've been alive, it feels like it's gotten so much more popular.
Yes.
So what was it like growing up in Canada, and why do you think basketball has been so popular? Like why were you drawn to it? What about basketball in Canada has been growing in the last
obviously, my family, a big basketball family. So I grew up into basketball, but I think having the Toronto Raptors definitely helped draw attention to Canada itself. And then they also won a championship while I was still in high school, but like that just brought even more attention. And then Montreal itself, I think, is a city that is growing in terms of like young athletes, just trying to pave a way for other athletes. We have my brother in the NBA, we have Ben in the NBA, and it's just, we have Lou Gans-Dort in the NBA too. So like Montreal athletes have paved the way for other Montreal kids to be able to see themselves in the league and things like that. And then the W, they're having a Toronto team, which is amazing. I've always talked about, Toronto having a team for the W, and then just being able to have that in the future to maybe be part of, that's incredible, because I would love to go back to Canada and play for, a team that's there.
Yeah. I feel like Canada's been on Notre Dame's radar because of Natalie Chamwa a few years ago. Like, what's your perception of Canadian basketball, coach? You've seen it have success here, and then it's grown. Just to me, it's so cool to just see it broadening across all of North America instead of just in the States.
Yeah, I mean, I think first time I got a chance to really watch and recruit Canadian players was Natalie Chamwa, actually going over to see, I think, a USA team, and spotted her, and I was like, wow. So that they've been on our radar for a long time, getting the opportunity to recruit in Canada and bringing somebody to campus. And then with Cass, it was like, oh my gosh, like just a phenom, and the relationship that we built, and just seeing the growth and improvement, and the stars, they're just honestly in every category. You got the young 16s, the 17s, the worlds. Like Canada basketball is just on the rise. They're just phenomenal athletes. Like she said, across the board, they're in the W thriving. I mean, they're in all aspects. So it's awesome to see, and then obviously to have to watch Cass and her growth and development and what she's done with Canada basketball. It's just been amazing.
As a fan of Team USA, I'm worried about them at 28 on the men's and women's side. Like, I need you guys to calm down a little bit, because they're becoming more and more of a threat.
Yeah.
Who was your player growing up? Like, who'd you look up to being in Canada? I'm always curious about players that didn't grow up in the States, just because you're close, obviously, but who did you idolize growing up? You mentioned the Raptors were a big influence there, but who were the people you watched?
It would definitely be my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I think seeing him, he's the type of brother that is like very overprotective. So even growing up, I'd be like, why do I have a third parent? You know what I mean? Like, I already have two. Like, why is my brother trying to protect me all the time? Just be my brother. But, he's just, his work ethic, he's always had goals, and now he made it to the league and he's living out his dream. But he's always had goals, and he's faced like a lot of adversity. And I think seeing that, and then his work ethic, his discipline, to still strive to be the best that he can be. He's always been my role model, example. hands down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you're watching them succeed at a high level, too.
Yes.
What were the games like in the backyard or at the gym? Like, what was that like?
Intense. I would say, my parents played senior league when we were growing up a little bit, so we were all around basketball. We used to play 2-on-2, kids versus parents. That was fun. We can't do that anymore because it's just not
show some videos of that.
Do you have any? We can get some tape of that.
I don't know.
So you can't play anymore
because everyone was playing.
Okay, but you can't play because you beat them too bad now. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They wouldn't want us to play them.
So when was the crossover? Because at some point they had you guys covered. At what point? When was the first win for brother and sister?
I think it's when my brother got really tall. Like he's 6'8", but he was, when he got way taller than my dad, and then when I started getting tall too, because it's like you can post up my dad and you're still skinny or whatever, so he's stronger than you. But then when I got taller too, it's like my mom couldn't keep. But it was just fun. Like we were playing half court, they couldn't run, they couldn't go full court. There's no way. So yeah.
Father time comes for us all. What's it like, Coach, when you hear about a family like that? When you're recruiting a basketball family, I have to imagine that, of course, she's a great player, but you hear all that. I'm like, this is probably a pretty safe bet. She's going to be a great player because of all the family basketball ties.
Yeah, I mean, the foundation's so strong. And like she mentioned, they both played, so they already know. They understand the recruiting process because obviously Omax was being recruited before her. But just knowing what it takes, understanding what she needs on and off the court. They're super high academic, high character family. So it was, aligned perfectly with Notre Dame, but knowing that they understood the basketball background and they know the game really well. And that's always refreshing when you have parents that understand and they know, and they love and care for her. It's just beautiful. And we have a great relationship, and it's I love having the relationship with parents even beyond the recruiting part, because you really get a chance to know them. And I'm coming from being a mom too.
Yeah.
So I understand, I understand both roles of being the parent, but also being the coach. So they're awesome. And I just love that the family network that they have. I think it's really special. And she talked about it, her brother being her idol, but they have such a close knit family.
Yeah.
And I love seeing it. It's really unique. It's really amazing, the love that they have for each other.
Okay, I want to know why you then decided to come to Notre Dame. What was the attraction to Notre Dame? Why did you want to play for Coach Ivey and be a part of this program?
Yeah, it was definitely Coach Ivey. That's the reason why I came to Notre Dame. Okay. I would say throughout the recruiting process, I could feel authenticity. I was very particular about my recruiting process. Coaches didn't have my number. They had my parents' number because I didn't want them to call me, and I wanted to see who would respect that. Yes, exactly. Especially because, like what she said, my brother had gone through the process, and we had seen how it could be very overwhelming. So I didn't want that to be the case for me. And so she was very respectful, but still consistent. And then I just think her character, I could tell that she was a player's coach, but she wasn't just being a fake to me throughout the recruiting process.
Right.
And then I really saw, I think, her character when I got injured last season. And it was like I wasn't doing anything for her necessarily on the court, but her level of coaching and just care for me was the same, regardless of if I was on the court or not. Yeah.
So, okay, that's interesting. I've never thought of a player having to think through that. It's the first time where coach is going to not respond to me because or feel a different way about me because I'm not giving them anything on the floor. That's interesting that crossed your mind, that never wavered in your eyes. And I'm also fascinated, it makes a lot of sense. I think, Coach, you were able to respect those boundaries because, like you said, you went through it with your son. And you know that if someone wants to be recruited a certain way, you respect that. Because that's what the player needs in that moment, right?
And you have to know that in the process. And they were very transparent and honest. And we had Zoom calls and, we went through her parents. And it's like, okay, whatever. We want this to go as you guys want it to go because they're in control, and you have to respect that. Yeah. But I will say, when I did get I got a random text.
Yes.
I got my first random text from Cass because I didn't have her number.
Canadian number?
No, I can't. Okay. No, it was not a Canadian number.
Okay.
It was just like, if it's like you don't have the title on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, who is this? I was like, it's Cass, and I texted staff. I'm like, Cass, text me.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like. Right. I respect that from their parents, of protecting her because it is overwhelming. So I knew that we were in a good spot because I had the chance to connect with her individually, which was awesome. It was a big moment. I know I've already told you that, but it was like an awesome moment. Yes. I'll never forget that. I saved it right away.
You talked about that injury last year. What was the
Yes.
toughest part about being injured and working your way back?
The toughest part I think was coming back. The injury itself, it's for me. It was my whole life. Basketball. I've been on the go. Playing with Team Canada in the summer, playing with my school or whatever during the year, and I've never had time to really pause, or I've never had to. And so definitely not being able to play, watching my teammates, not being able to help them was hard. But the coming back part is a different kind of difficulty because you're right there. Like you can feel like, okay, I'm going to be playing and I'm going to be, doing the thing I love the most to do. And you still have to be patient. Mm-hmm. And the patience part is hard. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, patience, it can be tough because you want it right away.
Especially when you've been out for so long. It's like, I'm right there. Like, I want to get on the court, but you can't go too fast where it's like, why did you wait this long? You know what I mean?
What's the challenge, Coach, of coaching injured athletes? Because they're not around, or they're not on the floor at least every day, getting better at the things you need to do during the season. But there's a role for everybody on the team. What's the toughest part about coaching when there's someone that's injured? You have to be mindful of their status on the team.
Yeah, like you mentioned, just having patience with their healing process because everyone is different the way that they heal. And so just being really transparent, really being communicating how they're feeling and just being patient with the process. That's not challenging. It's just part of it. Trusting the process, which I think she did such a great job last year. If she worked so hard of doing the things that she was allowed to do. Cass was swimming every morning, 6 a.m., the things that she was allowed to do, and like she talked about, like it was a moment for her to heal, to rest, but also look at the game from a different perspective. Yeah. She was in the chair doing ball handling drills when she couldn't jump, she was in the chair shooting. So the fact that she was injured but also found ways to stay engaged it was amazing. I mean, honestly, 6 a.m. swimming almost every day. Wow. But just trying to find ways to still...
Yeah. I got good at swimming.
Yeah, she's a great swimmer now. You should have been swimming in the Olympics too.
What's your go-to stroke?
Just the normal one. Okay. I wasn't doing all that. I was just trying to
butterfly?
Work. No. I was just trying to work my body, and it was not. No.
Last couple questions I have is about the Olympics and just coming back. Is there something that you picked up being around all those great players and that experience that you brought back to South Bend this year?
Yes. Taking care of your body.
Okay.
For sure. I think, you play with and against pros, so already like their work ethic is different. They're very mindful of what they do. But they're also adults. So they understand like longevity is something special, like not everyone has. And so they take care of their bodies, treatment every day. Ice baths, just they're a grown woman, and I'm 19 and I'm like looking up to them and just seeing their work ethic, and even like Natalie, like you mentioned, I remember asking her, I'm like, so what is it like playing in the Olympics? Because, she had been to already 3 of them and she was going on her 4th one. And she's like, you get 3 games and that's it. You don't get you don't think, you're going to get, it's like you have 3 games and if you don't perform, you're done.
Yeah.
And so she's like, it's a different mindset than just like, oh my gosh, we're going to play again or whatever, like something like that. So their mindset, very purposeful in whatever they do, whether it's on the court or off the court. Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one is there a rule in that international game that you liked or like to see adopted in the domestic game? I have one in my mind.
First of all, I think 24 seconds is good.
Okay.
I like that. But I feel like, I don't know if the guys don't do it where you can advance the ball, but we do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the 24 seconds too.
Yeah.
The pace to be higher.
I would say 24 seconds would be a great one, I think. I love that you guys, the women's game right now has the advance at the end of the game because makes it really exciting. If there's 2 seconds left, you have a better chance of getting the rim. So I love to see all of basketball adopt that, but 24 seconds. And then I like that you can play it off the rim if you want to. But, those are the things that come to mind when I see international ball.
Yeah. I wonder why the guys don't do it because they're the only ones everywhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll talk to Coach Drew and see if we can push something through. Cass, great to meet you. Thanks for coming by. Actually, no, you're going to stick around. Coach, we're getting you out of here.
Okay, I'm out of here.
And then Maddy Westbeld's going to come in and she's going to join the conversation.
Thank you.
All right. See you, Coach. Okay. Cassandre, you're
Hi.
still here.
Yes.
Thanks for sticking around. Maddy Westbeld has joined us, and this is exciting for a couple of reasons. Maddie's going to be here throughout the season. She's going to be our student-athlete host with women's basketball. Maddy, it's great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal.
What do you think of the set?
It's cute. I was here last year, actually. I did a segment with
That's right.
Coach, and then I did another one with Liv. So I'm familiar, and
That's right.
it's really cute in here.
Does it look like we didn't change too much? It still has the same vibe. It's welcoming, right? You feel like you're at home.
Definitely. The leather, like everything is giving like,
Very cute.
industrial. Yeah.
Oh, you think industrial? Okay, I like that. We're going to play a game here in this first segment. It's called Spinning Your Wheels.
Okay.
So this will be new for you too, but you'll get the hang of it by the end of the year. Cass, you're going to spin the wheel, okay? You got to spin it a little harder. It's presented by TireRack.com. Oh. And it's Know Your Teammates.
Ooh.
This is a good one. I like this one. I don't know if we've done this one yet, so this will be good, okay? So this is about, you guys are going to kind of, that was a good roll. It worked, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to have you guys chime in on who on your team this statement or these statements apply to. And you
Okay.
guys can kind of debate
Yeah.
it. We're going to have you actually open that locker right there, Maddy. See what's inside. Yeah, this will be great, actually. So now you don't have to reveal it one-on-one. Yeah, it almost took your shoulder out, sorry.
Yep.
No injuries, please. Okay, so now what you can do is you'll be able to write down your answer and then reveal at the same time. And then you guys can debate. Okay?
Okay.
This is good.
And I want to say this is going to be Know Your Teammates. We're going to keep it to just players, okay? Coaches ineligible. Just players,
Okay.
okay? And it could be yourself as well. You got to think about the whole team, okay? Here's the first one. Who is the most likely to clap when the plane lands or at the end of a movie? I feel... Just write down. No working together. This is keep it to yourself, then we'll reveal.
For sure.
Hard.
I think people that clap when the plane lands, I think kind of get unfairly
Judge.
ridiculed and mocked.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about
Yeah.
what has happened, they've brought you from 35,000 feet down back to Earth safely. I think if you clap, there's nothing wrong with that. But
You know
I
what?
can see that, but then at the end of a movie, it's like it's a little bit doing a lot,
so it's too much at the movie.
So occasionally, actually, yeah. Now that
They've
we
both
said
changed their answers. Okay.
that. Girl, now that you
Let's
said doing
preface
too
all
much.
this with that you guys love all your teammates, no matter what's said here.
Absolutely.
Get offended by this.
Full
Okay.
disclosure.
We'll have Cass, you reveal first. Who do you got?
I have KK.
Okay. Why's
That's how I
that?
changed my answer from.
Because I just think she would be the one to just be like, "Yay, we landed!"
Okay.
And then at the end of a movie, Cookie would be like, "That's what we call her,
Yeah.
Cookie." She would be very excited if the movie is good. I can see her do it. I was
Exuding positivity,
Yeah.
is that where you're going with?
Yeah. Just out of the blue. I think, yeah.
That's what I thought of first, and then I said doing too much, so then I changed my answer.
Kylie.
Oh, no.
But I started out with KK. Like, I fully agree with you. It would be like an overall, this is a positive experience,
Yes.
so let me clap about it.
Yes.
It's a tough one for Kylie because you said I was going to do KK when I thought of this really positively. And then when I changed to doing too much, I said Kylie.
But not necessarily, like, brother, I love you, but, like, not necessarily, like, doing too much, but just doing a lot.
Okay.
And I think she'll embrace that.
Got it.
Yeah.
There's a
She'll
difference between
embrace
those
that
two
too.
things. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, most likely to become a CEO at a top company.
Oh.
Sure. No company in particular. Could be any company, but interesting. I'm doing some eavesdropping.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I see what you're writing.
Okay.
Okay. I'll have Maddy go first.
Okay. I said Liza. I feel like, she's just in a very hard major. She had a a very hard undergrad major in engineering.
Okay.
And, you know, I just feel like she really knows what she's trying to do. So, yeah.
Okay. She has a clear vision,
She has a clear vision.
ready to pursue it whenever the time comes.
Yeah,
That was your thought.
absolutely,
Okay.
Absolutely.
And not everybody has that when they're in school. Just
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Especially playing basketball.
Yeah. Cass.
I said Maddy
Oh.
because she's very good with people. And I think she would be able to lead a great, like,
That's
work
I
environment.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
What company, if you had to guess?
Something with helping others.
Okay.
Something related to, yeah.
That's why I'll force that on you. I was kidding.
Okay.
Or something with, like, healthy foods, healthy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could
Yeah,
see it.
yeah.
I see. I see. Number 3. Who is the most likely on the team to run a marathon?
Oh, my gosh.
To run a marathon?
Yeah.
Um,
You guys play a sport where there's not a lot of distance running. This is a sprint-based sport. So 26.2
Okay.
seems like a lot for
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah. Not a lot of like voluntary
No,
running.
no,
you
no,
know?
no. Running
I don't
is
think
kind of-
anyone would do that. But
Yeah.
I like that I can see what Cass writes down. It's actually pretty fun.
Able bodied though. I mean,
Have either of you ever thought of running a marathon?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think
Don't like running like that.
I don't think you could pay me to run one. Yeah.
No.
That's a long time running.
No.
We'll start with Cass this time. Who you got?
Okay, I have Sony. Not because she'd want to. She definitely would not want to, but she has a good, like, she can run. Like, I think she has a good, like, her lungs, I feel like, are built different a little bit. So
Okay.
she could run for long. She doesn't get tired often, or she doesn't look like she gets tired.
I
So I
agree
think
with
she
that.
could do that.
I agree
Okay.
with that. I said Emma for a similar reason.
Okay.
Like, just I feel like she's really able-bodied. She would be able to do it.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah.
feel like some of us are not really built for all that. But, like, I feel like if she really trained for it, she could do it.
Okay. So yours was like a true scouting report.
Yeah,
Yours was kind of just like reading what's inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. Who is the most likely on the team to be the first one to hit the dance floor at a wedding?
Oh.
I'll let you know. If I were on your team, it would be me.
Okay.
And that is backed up. There is plenty of data out there to prove that point.
That's actually...
It might not look like it.
Who would be the first
that's a
one?
great-
Like, a lot of people would go on the dance floor, but who would be the first one?
I know.
Yeah. I think.
I'm excited to see what your teammates' responses are to these.
I know. I'm going to send this in the group chat.
Yeah.
We're done. Have them answer it, too.
You go first, Maddie. Who you got?
I got Kylie again.
Okay.
You got Kylie? I was gonna go with Hannah, but then I was like, I feel like Hannah would need Kylie to go, and then she would sprint out there on there with it.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and then Cass
Exactly.
would follow after Hannah.
Oh.
So, and then everybody would follow. So it was definitely Kylie.
Yeah.
For
Kylie.
sure.
I want to call this when doing too much goes right.
Yes.
Doing too much.
Exactly.
You know, it's
She wouldn't be afraid to just start it.
Okay.
For
And-
sure.
Yes.
You need that. You need every team needs that person, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 5.
Absolutely.
First one to randomly bring home a new dog. I feel like dogs show up on this team just a lot in general, so this has probably happened already. But
Yeah. That's very true. We really run like an animal shelter.
Yes.
We've been saying that.
Randomly. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna go with here. Do you want to write it?
yeah. No, you go ahead. Ron.
yeah, you go.
Okay.
She's right.
I'm gonna say KK because I don't know if she would just like come home, like she would just bring something like just
Okay.
out of the blue. She'd be like, "Yeah, I got it," or like, "My cousin gave it to me and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just brought it with me." Like that kind of thing. Like it would be.
I see what you're saying.
Again, it goes back to the plane landing. Very positive. Just gonna kind of roll with
Yeah,
things. Take
yeah.
what comes her way.
She was just vibe, and it's like, Cookie, why do you have a dog? And it's like,
Why not?
I don't know. Like I just have, and it's just like it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, she would be like trying to help somebody out, you know. I said Kate because I know that she's been wanting an animal, specifically a cat, after being. She's been like really asking about it. So I feel like
That's
I
good
feel like
one.
spontaneously she would just go do it because
But you
she's
said she
living
wants
by
a cat.
herself. I mean, yeah, but just a companion.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
So if a dog showed up, she's
I
taking
really
it.
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last one here. Kind of similar to the wedding one, but still a little bit different. First one to sing at karaoke.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think similar mindset, but slightly different energy than the one we just discussed with the wedding dance floor. But you guys both went right away, so I have you guys sing at the same time, okay? 3, 2, 1. Yes! There we go! Does she have a great voice? What's the reason?
Low key. I don't think she'll
Don't hype her up too much.
Oh my gosh.
I should
no,
say, for
yes.
those that are just listening, you both said Hannah Hidalgo.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Absolutely.
she does have a little voice.
Okay.
And she thinks she's really like that girl and singing. So she would just take the mic and just like start singing.
Well, but she might with you, but then with everybody else, she's shy about it. Like,
Yeah.
she'll be in the locker room, like she sings a lot, but it'll be quiet. And then sometimes you hear like she'll like get up there a little bit. And I'm like, okay, like let's hear it.
A little falsetto. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
little subtle.
she loves karaoke, so I think that's why too. She actually loves like doing that.
Guys, these are great answers because they give us good icebreakers for the rest of the season. When everyone comes back, we can ask, okay,
Yeah.
so Cass said this about you. Would you like to explain why or why not?
Mhm.
Great stuff. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back with another segment. Okay, guys, that was great. Loved playing, spinning your wheels. It's now time for our Yeti Cooler Conversations segment. The people at Yeti are great. I actually have some Coke products in here. I'm going to have a water,
Alright.
Dasani water. Do you guys want
Yeah, I
a
have a
water?
I would love
Got a Coke or a Coke Zero? You got it? You got it, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I actually had a Coke Zero last week. My first time going into the Cokes. It was good, but
was good.
I'm back to water just Monday, hydrate, But Maddie,
It's the last episode. You don't like sugar a lot?
I don't like the sugar. I don't like too much sugar. I could probably do a sip or two of the Coke and feel pretty good. If I took down the whole Coke, it'd just be a lot. And I love Coke, but that's why I love they got the Coke Zero to balance me out. So Coke Zero, probably what I'll stick with the rest of the way. I will have a regular Coke at some point this season, but it'll just be later. But I'm going to let Maddie take it away for our cooler
Yes.
conversations. Then we're just going to go from there. So have at it.
Well, Cassandre, I wanted to bring you on first because I remember you specifically coming in when you came into Notre Dame. It was in the middle of like the season. We were in the trenches. You came in as a freshman, and I felt like I just had a need to kind of put you under my wing, if that makes sense. And so I just wanted to be there whenever you needed anything. And I don't know, I felt like we just had a little like bond in several different aspects. And so it's been a beautiful kind of journey to be able to see you grow in so many different aspects. And I was curious from your side of things, your perspective, what has been just the area where you're most proud of within your growth?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think my first year, it was definitely crazy coming in as a high schooler in the middle of a season. But you've always been so great. She would bring me around everywhere. Just
You drive everywhere.
yeah. She was just great. And I feel like my biggest growth has definitely been, throughout the injury. I mean, you're living it now, so you understand what it is, but you get to get a different understanding of who you are. I feel like for me, the biggest thing was I realized that basketball is what I love, but it's not who I am. And through that, just not having it there to just do whenever I wanted to, I play with so much gratitude now that I can play.
Mm-hmm.
And it was through the injury that I was able to build this foundation of just like self-worth without the game of basketball. So now that I play, it's like a bonus, but I know who I am internally first. Yeah.
So you feel like having it taken away makes you realize how valuable it is when it comes back, and that you have everything else taken care of, and then it's just an added
Exactly.
benefit when you get to play. Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. How's your process been with that?
It's been good. I really feel the same way, like so much gratitude being off the court. And, I've never listened to my body before, like that. it's a different pace that you're at right now. You kind of slow down, you detach, you take a step back, and you're just kind of observing. And so it's a different way of approaching the game. And just, I think, like, we're in an important time to, like, figure out who we are, you know, like you were just saying. So I feel just straight gratitude is the only word that I can say.
Can I ask one more follow-up just on coming in mid-season?
Yeah.
Like, how tough was that? Because it sounds like you knew that was going to be tough for a high school senior, Maddy. Just
Absolutely.
like, what was the toughest part about starting school early mid-season? It seems crazy.
Definitely tough. I feel like I knew what I was coming into, but you definitely don't know until you're there. You know, I got here December 26th, and my first game was December 29th. So I had 3 days to learn, like, a couple plays and just to feel for the team. But the biggest thing, I think my teammates were so welcoming. Like, I knew it was going to be hard just coming into a brand new team. Like, I was actually talking to a couple of my teammates last year, and I was like, I can't even imagine, like, someone coming in mid-year right now. Like, that must be so weird.
Right.
But they did such a great job at, like, just welcoming me and making sure that I was comfortable and helping me for whatever. Like, even if it wasn't basketball related, okay, you need to go to Target, she'll take me. Like, you need to go home, she'll take me. And it's just easy things that I didn't even have to ask for, so I didn't feel like I was imposing.
Yeah.
It was like, we're here for you. And I love that my teammates and the coaches created that for me.
So you were just offering rides everywhere? How's that go?
I mean, yeah. It was kind of just like a set. Once she got here, it was like, okay, what do you need?
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while, I was just like checking on Cass. What does she need? But I will say that you probably won't say this, but like the mentality that you had coming in. I remember we had one team meeting. We were in the trenches. It was in the middle of the conference tournament, and you know, she came in high schooler, and she was trying to play with us. She was getting good minutes. We were probably low on numbers at the time, so it was like Cass is coming in, and she's got to figure out all of the plays, everything. And Coach Ivey was really trying to be patient with her and trying to figure everything out, just like we were chemistry-wise. And we were sitting down in a team meeting, and Cass, like, interrupted everybody and was like, listen, like, for us to get where we want to go this year, you guys need to not be so patient with me. Like, you need to challenge me in the way that you challenge each other, in the way that it doesn't matter what veteran level that you're at. Like, we all need to be pushing each other. And so I feel like even before your injury, like, you had that mentality of, I know what I need to do for us to, you know, for us to be great.
That's fascinating because I've never heard that angle, because I've always heard what we said at first was like, we have to go out of our way to make sure this person feels well, and you should make them feel well. But it's almost like we can't dumb down our approach because she might need she needs the actual approach. She needs to be coached like is necessary, or have a teammate that's normal at this level to help her get to the level she wants to be at, right?
For sure. Everybody like kind of took a step back. Like, you don't expect somebody in high school to say that. You're in the middle, you know, like you expect her to be, you know, intimidated by everybody in the room. But no, she you know, she walked in there like God sent her in there, and just, you know, it was just, I don't know. I've just had so much respect for Cass since then.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think I remember that conversation, and it was just like, thank you for giving me like the grace that I needed, but now like it's go time. So in that approach, and I felt comfortable saying that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was going to get pushed back or just anything. They created that environment for me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got for her?
We were really close then too, so it was easy. The other question that I wanted to bring up was about nutrition. I know that we really love nutrition. We're always talking about it. That's another way that we really bond. And I was curious, what has nutrition done for you, and like really being dialed into it during your injury? How have you seen it play a role within your mental game, your physical game, on and off the court, your spiritual game, like everything about it? What has it done for you?
Yeah. When I got hurt, I was like, okay, now my diet wasn't horrible, but I was like, I need to figure out where I can be better for my body, because it was breaking down for me. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out how I can do this. So, I stopped drinking coffee because I'm like, coffee's not good for my bones. Like, I did so much research with my mom, too. We did research on, like, how can I figure out things that are good for my bones?
Yeah.
And that's where I got into matcha. And I remember coming to your place, and she taught me how to make matcha because she loves to make matcha. So she taught me how to do it. And then, I was able to make it myself instead of drinking coffee. And I think, like, nutrition-wise, it's just, you feel so much better when you're putting things that are from the earth. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So it's not just about, I think it's a question of balance.
Yeah.
It's not just like, okay, you got to eat healthy all the time, but it's being intentional with what you eat and being intentional with what you fuel your body with so that you can perform at your best. And since, being injured and adapting that way of kind of nutrition and living, I think I've just been consistent with that because I know how good it's been for me. But I know you're like a next level, so.
Not
Your next level? Your next level? What's that? What level is that?
No, it's literally the same approach. It wasn't necessarily injury that drove me wanting to like kind of dive into those rabbit holes of nutrition, but just like kind of deciding that I want my performance on the court to be good because of, the things that I do off the court, not, despite of the things that I do off the court. So nutrition was just a way for me to up my game, to up everything else.
How helpful is the staff here with the nutrition? Because I just get the sense like Division I, Notre Dame, like they just put so many resources into making sure you guys are fueled the right way. Like, have you seen that in your experience here? Like, they're enabling you to take it to the next level?
Absolutely. I mean, they're all of the time. Chris, the dietitian.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just, Angie is always getting us meals afterwards. If we don't like something or if we would like something accommodated, she will always do it for us. And Coach Ivey is always about that too. Like I think she gets inspired too, and she also is on that same journey. So I think everybody together, it's like we're trying to inspire each other, like just trying to eat better and fuel ourselves better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I could talk nutrition with you guys all day, but we got to let you go. So, Maddy, thanks for coming by. Looking forward to having you on the couch every week. Cass, thanks for all the conversations. Great stuff with Maddy and then with Coach Ivey as well. Looking forward to watching you this year.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Coach, we're starting this season with, I don't want to play favorites, but I'm just going to say it. One of my favorite potential guests we have, Kayla McBride.
Yes.
KMAC is here. I had such a fun time with KMAC about 5 years ago when I did my 1 year with women's basketball on the road. It's great to see you. Kayla, how are things going?
Everything's going great. Obviously, the season ended not in the best fashion, but I've been able to kind of take some rest. My first year not going overseas in a while. So just kind of taking it all in, spending time with the fam, hanging out, and just doing normal people things, I guess. So it's been great thus far, but, I'm getting ready to ramp things back up.
You've earned that. Let's talk about WNBA Finals first, because that was something that I know everybody was watching about a month and a half ago. Just what was the experience like? I know it didn't end the way you wanted to, but to see the 5-game series, the games were so close. It was so intense. Before we started rolling here, you were talking, Coach, about the physicality. What was your takeaway from the series, KMAC?
Well, first of all, it was heartbreaking. Obviously, it was like a heavyweight battle. Everybody's throwing like punches, exhausted. Every possession, there was so much value in the possession. I think that's what the finals is about, about winning possessions. And I was really proud of our group. I don't think anybody expected us to be there in the first place. And just our chemistry, our like the organic chemistry that we had since day one, from top to bottom, was amazing. So to be in that situation and then just be in those environments, whether it was at Barclays or in Target Center, it was unbelievable. But it's a grind, And I think just to see where women's basketball was in that moment and being a part of it in those games in that fashion, it was just unbelievable. It's obviously, like I said, it was heartbreaking, but I think now I'm more motivated than ever, to get back to that spot. So it was awesome. I wish you would have come out on top, but
You will.
oh man, it's heartbreaking. I don't think I'll ever get over it. I don't think I'll.
What was it like for you, Coach, to watch those games and see her in that environment and just see everything that was going on?
Yeah, well, first off, I just want to say congrats. You guys were Commissioner Cup champions, and I was texting with you throughout the season, but just watching the way that you guys molded as a unit defensively, having that defensive dog mindset. And it was just like you said, it was a battle. It was like, one of my favorite moments in the finals, or actually playoffs, was you and Marina. Like that was one of my. I was like, that's practice right there. I was like, that was. Our people were like tweeting at me. I'm like, bro, like that's practice. That is not. They leave it on the floor. Those two are like two of the most amazing competitors. But I was just so proud of you, of the way you performed, the way you, everything that you did. I'm like, most efficient scorer in the league, in my opinion. Just the way that you play, you make everybody better around you, and it's just, I've known that from day one. One story I will give is on a recruiting visit. I think I was like second or third year as an assistant. First time kind of meeting KMAC. She sat in that conference room, and I'm like, Kayla, I was like, Kayla, like, what's your nickname? She was like, just call me Buckets.
Oh,
and I was like, yes. So from that day on, like, she's like 16. From that day on, we always just say, Buckets, like Kayla, KMAC Buckets. But you've always had that swag. You've always had that confidence, and to see your career. And what you've done, the championships you won overseas, what you've done in the league, is just phenomenal. And I'm not surprised at all. We're all so proud of you here. Just,
I know. And I appreciate you so much. And I just want to go back to the Marina thing. I think it's funny because nobody knows, like, how competitive our practices actually were, like, when I was at Notre Dame. And so, yeah, it was a moment, like, everybody, like, blew it up into it. But, like, I was just competing in that moment. Right. And, obviously there's a Notre Dame, like, pride, especially like for our era. Like, I know it's like this our era there, whatever. And so of course, like, I'm always gonna, like, that's always in the back of my mind. Like, come on, so it was all, like, it's all love for me.
Right.
Like, I had so much respect for Marina and her game, and she had a great playoff run, great season in general. But when it comes down to, like, winning and losing games, like, I'm gonna be as competitive. I don't want anybody to take it personal. I feel like a lot of people know me as a, like, competitor, but they don't know me as a real, like, life human being.
Exactly.
So to hear you say that, it's just like, yeah, well, yeah, because I was competing. Like, it's about her, so.
We loved it over here. I was rewinding it. We loved it. I was like,
they play on basketball.
Just play on basketball. Yeah. And I'm like, that's how they play. Like, they don't take things personally. Like, they want to win. Like she said, every possession matters. So, like,
but I do want to ask you about one thing just with the finals, because I've seen it in playoff basketball over the years, but it seemed like the later it got, the more tense it got. It just got so intense and so hard to get a basket. Just what does that feel like to be on the floor in those moments? Because it just seems like to me in the biggest basketball games, a lot of the execution and skill can go out the window. It just comes down to, like, who wants it more. What did it feel like being on the floor in those moments?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, as a hooper, as somebody who genuinely loves basketball, it's I think especially in playoffs in those environments, it's about possessions. So the energy in each possession changes. I mean, we played in 2 game 5s, like, within, like, a 2-week period, And so the intensity, and you just know the other team so well. You know what they like to do. You know their tendencies. And so just trying to win or find a way to win every possession, it becomes so intense. Everybody's exhausted. Everybody's physically and mentally, like, beat down. But it's like, how can we come together and win every possession, or win more possessions than the other team? And I think something Cheryl does really well is we play 5-minute games throughout the course of the game. So there's 8 5-minute games. And so we're trying to win every 5 minutes. Like, when we look up at that TV timeout or media timeout, we want to see us up in each one. Okay, or we didn't win those 5-minute games. Like, how do we come back and win the next 5 minutes? So I think that was always in the back of our minds. And it goes back to, like, being in practices or being in those situations where you got to get 3 stops in a row. You got to do this. You got to do that. Because that's really what it comes down to. So it's so intense. And this is the best basketball in the world. We're going against the best. These are arguably the 2 best teams in the world, just kind of trying to win possessions against each other. And it can be a sideline out of bounds. It can be a baseline. It can be a jump ball. Like, there's so much energy in every possession. And so much intensity in each possession. And as a hooper and as somebody who loves the game, like, genuinely, I thrive in those moments. And that's what I'm built off of. I'm built off winning. I'm built off finding a way to win competitively. And so, like I said, I think our group especially, we just had that about us. And that's why you saw us in those game 5s and having a chance to win a championship.
You mentioned her in some practices back in the day, but I want to just get your insight onto, some of the games you guys played back in that run from 2011 to 2014. You guys played in so many Final Fours. You were an assistant back then, went to the title game. I think she played in 3 title games. You guys were really close in all of them. Just what are the KMAC memory? I know, I'm sorry. What are the KMAC memories on the floor that come to mind when you think of her career here?
Yeah, I mean, again, ability to score, 3-level score, her tenacity, like, just one of the smartest players I think I've ever been around, and always about her business. You never, like, when she stepped on the court, when she's in between the lines, like, was the ultimate competitor in practice. They had scratches all over them just because, again, like she's saying, like, just loving to play, loving to battle. She was always like that. But so many games I could say, but the one that came to mind while you were talking, KMAC, was UConn, the double overtime win. And she literally walked a walk-up three with like 2 people on her. I died. It was just unbelievable. Like, just her mental focus and the way that they tried so many different things to try to stop her offensively, but she has so many ways that she can score. But like, having ice in her veins on that, there's so, like I said, there's so many moments, especially on the road. But that one at home, that double overtime win was. Oh, yeah. I still have like that picture of like just how the bench reacted when she scored that three, and it was kind of like, we're trying to figure. You have so many different late game plays that you're thinking of, and then like that one was the ball came back, let her go to work. It's like sometimes you can't drop anything.
That's like the 16-year-old that came in and said, "Call me buckets."
Yeah,
walk down. And
oh my god.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite performances by her.
Where does that rank for you, KMAC, when you think about your time here?
Yeah, that was sometimes. My youngest sister, she's at Georgetown. Sometimes she'll pull up like highlights and things like that, and that's usually like one of her first ones. Is that triple overtime? It was. Those battles, like, we were really playing like WNBA games in college. Like, if you think about it, but I just love the moments, especially playing at Purcell. Like, it was just something different. Those teams, man. Like, I carry so many of those memories with me even now as a pro. And those practices and stuff, but that's definitely like up there, because I think they had drawn up a play, and I was just like, well, she keeps backing up. She's still backing up. I'm not supposed to. Right. Nobody had made a three that whole game. We were 1 for like 17 for the whole game. That was the only three, and it like hit the front of the rim, the backboard like dropped in, and I was like, well, sometimes you gotta win on yourself.
What was the coaching staff saying as she pulled up, though? Was everyone like, oh, that's a good shot? No.
All right. No. Okay.
No, go. Yeah. I love that. You were talking about missing being at Notre Dame, at least playing on those teams, I assume. What do you miss about being just on campus and around this place? Because obviously I know you get back when you can, but what do you miss about being a full-time student athlete here?
Oh, gosh. So many things. I think, being at Notre Dame, how I grew as an athlete, a woman, and just like a human being, it was so influential in who I am today, and what I carried with me throughout my career, throughout my growth as a woman. It was so many things, like academically, obviously it was really, really hard, but just having to show up for yourself, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it looked like. I was able to navigate all those different types of things while I was a student athlete, and just talking strictly like as an athlete, being pushed every single day by amazing women was really, really influential as I continue to progress throughout my career. But it was just such a special place. As soon as you walk on campus, it's just, you can feel the energy, and there's just so much love. I think for real, for me, like in my heart, for where I came from. I have so much pride in the island, in Notre Dame. Like, what I will argue to the day I died, and that's just that. But that's a a testament to what we really built, like, as a group. And like I said, you just have sisters for life, you have friends for life, and it's just so much love, but then also like the competitiveness too. I think it just really solidified who I really wanted to be as a pro. When I was at Notre Dame, I really found my way. Obviously I grew, you grow at like anything else, but really putting those roots down, it all started when I was on campus, for sure.
I just hear that, and I just think how valuable it must be to have someone like her being at the level she's at, as like an advocate for the program you have now. Like, how valuable is it for your current players to have someone like KMAC that they know they can look up to and be a role model for them?
Yeah, just knowing that type of success is attainable. Somebody that walked in their shoes. They look at her banners, and they look at her picture and all the picture of the WNBA players on the wall when we walk in the practice facility every day. So, no, and then seeing her success and what she did this year and has done in the WNBA, and like I said, it gives them motivation, inspiration. They're always following you, KMAC. I know you haven't got a chance to meet all the team, but like, after games, we come in and we talk about it. Like, you saw the matchup, and we're always saying, like, you see how KMAC, Kayla, you see how KMAC came off that screen. Like, you got to do this and do that. So like, we're always comparing. We're always trying to find inspiration from what we see. But when you see somebody that walked in your shoes, went to Notre Dame, was part of this program, helped build this program, like she mentioned, and then see them succeed and see them continue to impact the game and the success that they have. Someone want to play overseas, so they're looking at all that stuff. So to have those type of mentors is huge for the program. We always talk about developing these players to get to the next level, and they're watching it, and they're not just at the next level; they're the best at the next level. So I think having those type of role models is huge for our program.
Okay, let's talk about this year's team. I need to get your perspective from where you are, because I think there's the perfect amount of she's a fan, she's attached to the program, but she has enough distance where we can get the honest assessment. I'm coming off of last night's game when we record this. You're averaging 103 points per game right now through 2 games. So I like what I see, but what does KMAC see when she's watching this team 2 games into the season? What are you excited about?
I mean, like I was telling Niele before we started to record, is my number one word is pace, and I think that's the name of their game on both ends of the floor. And she asked me a little bit about the defensive identity, just that's something that we built in mini, and I'm excited for them to figure that out. That comes with time, that comes with cohesion, that comes with, the grind of like being in those situations, whether it's on the road, at home, whatever. So I'm excited to see them come together in that way. But as far as like their talent level, I think they believe in one another. And like I said, pace. Like you have multiple people who can bring the ball up, multiple people that can make plays. You got shooters, and I think it's going to be really exciting. I really, really can't wait to come to Priscilla and watch them. But just having Liv back, I think is huge. I love Sony's game. Hannah, of course. Like I can't wait to see how she blossoms into her next year. So it's going to be great. I think Niele's probably chomping at the bit, I know, because she got a bunch of competitors. And I think that's the biggest thing that I see, too, is just they want to compete at the highest level. They want all the smoke. And that's what we're built off of. So I'm really, really excited to see them go against the best and, show up and rise to the occasion, because I think that they're built that way. And so I'm really, really excited to see where they can go this year for sure.
When I've watched the last couple of games, I got to say, I just forgot how fun it is to watch Olivia back on.
Oh my gosh.
It was like last year, and everybody, I'm not playing favorites, and everyone's great, but like I just missed Olivia. I forgot how fun she is to watch. She, of course, threw in like the 70-footer last night, whatever it was, but just there is so many players that can do so many different things for you. It must be fun to coach a group like this.
It is. Like you mentioned, pretty much everybody, the pace, that's what we always are preaching into the summer, like really working on our transition pace and then the defensive cohesion, exactly what you're saying. I'm trying to get us to continue to grow in that area. And that's an area that we want to be better at and something that we're really focusing on. So I'm excited to see that too. But just having Sony back last night, that was huge. Having such a glue player, so she's so efficient. They're all unselfish. And like she mentioned, like they all want to compete. They want to win. And having those pieces back, that mentality back, it has been fun to coach.
You said you want to get back for a game, KMAC. Do you know which one you're going to get back for yet?
I really want to be there for the Texans game. That's one of the ones on my list, And I just can't wait to be back in the arena too. It's been a while. I haven't been back since like 2019, since I was doing some stuff with Coach McGraw. So I'm really, really excited to get back and see it live. I want to feel it. It's been a
great run. Texas on the 5th, and then a week later, UConn at home on the 12th. So December is the month to go to a women's basketball game.
Oh yeah. Usually is. It usually is. Usually things get spicy around December 5th. So we're excited.
I have for you. You mentioned 2019. What do you miss most about being around Coach Mike every day?
Oh, her blushing personality. No, it's all love. I mean, Mikey we're 2 years apart, obviously, so I got to spend a lot of time with her. But I'm so like proud of her for how she's grown like as a coach, really into her own. So it's really cool to see, especially as somebody you consider your sister for sure.
Well, that's all I got for KMAC. You got anything else for her?
Yeah, no, again, just thank you for being here. We know your schedule is super busy.
Yeah.
We are still so proud of you. Can't wait to welcome you back home. That's going to be a special moment when you come back to campus. And again, just thank you for all that you've done for me in the program. And we're always rooting for you. And we know that ring's coming for you.
Of course. I mean, thank you guys for having me.
You already know that it's coming.
I know. And I hope it does, but Notre Dame has been such a huge part of my life. And so I'm really, really excited for you guys this year and just be able to support. And, I'm always cheering from afar. I'm always ready to fight, argue, battle, whatever it is.
We love the Twitter trolls.
It's in my veins. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. And as always, go Irish.
Yes.
Amen. See you later. We'll hope to see you in a month.
All right. Yeah.
See you soon.
That does it for another edition of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. Thanks again to Kayla McBride, Cass Prosper, and Maddy Westbeld for swinging by. And as always, thanks to Coach Ivey for joining us on the show. All right, one more reminder. Thursday night at Brothers, 6:30 to 8:30 is your chance to be a part of Wake Up the Echoes. We'll have Coach Ivey, Coach Shrewsbury, Marcus Burton, and Hannah Hidalgo all in the house. A great way to start off your football weekend, the final football weekend in South Bend when Notre Dame takes on Virginia. We hope to see you there, and until we talk to you next time, Tony Simeone for Wake Up the Echoes.